From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
And a happy Cinco de Mayo to you. Welcome to Montana This Morning. It's Monday, May 5th, 6 o'clock. I'm Keagan Harsha here with Ed McIntosh. And we got a lot to talk about with the weather this morning.
That's right. Miller took a great week off because there's so much weather going on. Well deserved for him. As we take a look at, I figure this is the only family that's really going to be comfortable with the weather for today.
Yeah.
So we could play a little duck, duck, goose there with the family out for a little swim. Did you know that geese mate for life?
I didn't, but I knew that you would tell me a fun fact today, so there you go.
You had to find that. So thanks very much, Loretta, for sharing that one. I just love that photo when it showed up this morning. Weather at ktvq.com. Use our free app. You can track the weather and then send us fun photos and videos like that too. So showers. Now let's talk about the serious stuff because we do have some rain. It's been very heavy in areas from southwest Montana, particularly around Helena to Great Falls. So pretty much anything north of I-90 and south of US 2 has been getting quite a bit of moisture today. Live look with the Stockman Bank weather cam, looking at those rain showers, cooling temperatures as we start getting later on into the day. So best chance of rain will increase here during the morning and then continue through probably tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I've been talking Little League baseball at 6 at 39 degrees at that time. I don't want baseball to happen. It looks pretty miserable.
I think this is one of those days where we could have a rain out.
Yeah, it might happen just today. Thanks, Ed. Well, many food items may soon become a lot more difficult to find at food banks across Montana as a lot of the nonprofits are currently bracing for USDA funding cuts. That news comes after the Trump administration announced $1 billion in cuts to USDA programs back in early March. So now those decisions will hit close to home. This morning, our Vanessa Willardson hears from two Billings nonprofits about how they're coping with the uncertain futures.
It just seems like the most vulnerable that could lose the most out of these cuts are the ones that are going to get hammered.
Montana food banks are anticipating the effects of funding cuts to the Emergency Food Assistance Program. Montana Food Bank Network lost 40% of its TFAP funding in March. That's 600,000 pounds of food or 900,000 cans of this soup. Billings Family Service is one of MFBN's partner agencies, and it is losing an estimated 140,000 pounds worth of TFAP food this year. Program Manager of Warehouse Development, Debbie Anderson, says while the TFAP cuts did not show up in the last shipment of TFAP food, the organization will see reductions in the upcoming shipment, especially on protein.
And unfortunately for Montana, protein is kind of high on the list for Montana's diet preferences.
Billings Family Service may turn to the community for assistance due to the loss. In fact, Family Service Board member Ed Uladolin says while the impact of the cuts concerns him, he hopes the organization will find support from local residents and businesses.
We want to continue to broaden our support in the community, both from people that are supporting us financially, but also businesses that are supporting in terms of giving food and that type of thing.
President and CEO of MFBN, Gail Carlson, says the number of Montana residents asking for assistance is growing, despite the cuts in funding. She says some reasons for the increase include high grocery prices and federal employee layoffs, like the 360 U.S. Forest Service employees laid off in February.
We're starting to see a lot of demands on our partner agencies for needing that assistance because a lot of individuals have been laid off that are federal employees.
The CEO is finding ways to stay positive. She predicts food banks will figure out ways to fill the need.
Out of all the organizations I've worked with, food banks are probably the most resilient, and they'll find a way. They're going to find a way so that they don't ever have to turn away anyone that needs their services.
In Billings, Vanessa Willardson, MTN News.
And there is an opportunity for you to help out here. The Postal Service is holding a food drive to Stamp Out Hunger event this coming Saturday. All you have to do is leave a bag of non-perishable food items right near your mailbox. The mailman will pick those up and make sure they get delivered. Well, healthcare patients in Columbus now have one less reason to travel to a Billings hospital, all thanks to a new mobile MRI machine. Take a look here. The mobile machine, which is contracted out by Monida Sharing, travels all around Montana. Made its first stop in Columbus on March 21st. The director of nursing, Beth Rossum, says it's already served the needs of 40 patients in just a short time in the Columbus community.
To say you can come here and get your care and not have to send them another 40 minutes, it's not bad for some of us, but for our elderly populations, that's a big deal.
That mobile MRI machine rolls into Columbus every other Friday at the Stillwater Billings Clinic, serving the town and the surrounding communities. Well, happy Cinco de Mayo to all of you on this May 5th. And this morning we're celebrating one group helping celebrate Hispanic and Latino culture, one brushstroke at a time. Our Isabel Sparts takes us to a project on Billings' Southside.
For car enthusiasts, there's nothing quite like the look of a classic car.
Everything and anything that can be done with a lowrider paint job, that's what I love to do.
For Ray Nava, his love for them turned into a 15-year-long career of body and custom painting. Now he's changing his canvas from a car body to a wall in his first ever mural.
It just adds so much more to the community and stuff, just so much more culture, and because the Southside is, mainly Hispanic.
Painting this 71 Caprice, a low rider, a symbol for many in Hispanic culture.
It's everybody. And I think that's the beautiful thing about lowriding.
Titled Rooted in the Southside, Dreaming Under the Big Sky, the mural is a part of a local club's mission to help beautify the south side of Billings.
I did grow up in this neighborhood pretty much my whole life, and unfortunately South Park's always been looked at as the bad park, the ghetto park, and for the city to allow us to paint on them and actually help us redo some of it a little bit is actually really nice.
Raza Unida is a club in School District 2 that helps empower Latino and Latina students, ran by local teacher and Ray's sister, Alicia Nava.
It's always been about bringing kids together and trying to give them a brighter future.
In partnership with Roots of Unity, the club threw a celebration at the Southside Park on Sunday, full of Hispanic vendors and the chance to watch Nava paint live.
Watching the process as it goes, or even being a part of it, from us painting it, priming it and stuff, to sketching it, to him painting it, is awesome.
The students helped raise over $2,000 to make it happen, but more importantly, the chance to feature a lowrider in a prominent area is also a chance to show off their rich culture.
There were a lot of stereotypes that were forced onto me and my friends growing up, so it's really nice to see some more positives come out of this community.
Especially the kids, seeing their faces light up when they see the cars and everything like that too. It's a lot. It's what it means to me, and I was that kid and I seen a nice car and I was like, man, I want a car like that too.
An inspiration for a new generation of Southside kids and a larger representation for all of Billings to enjoy.
I really love doing stuff like this. It helps showcase my talents, and it's a part of my childhood, and it's going to be here for my daughter to see, so it's going to be here, hopefully for a long time. It's nice to leave my print on the South Side.
In Billings, Isabel Sparts, MTN News.
Well, Montana U.S. Senator Steve Daines and Maine Senator Angus King have introduced a bill that would restore millions of dollars in funding to the national park system and other public lands. It's called the America the Beautiful Act. According to Daines' office, that bill reauthorizes and strengthens legacy restoration funds that were part of the Great American Outdoors Act. If passed, that funding would be extended through at least 2033, an increase from $1.9 billion to $2 billion a year. The money aims to reduce the $40 billion backlog of deferred maintenance at our national parks and on public lands. Montana's junior U.S. Senator, Republican Tim Sheehy, and a bipartisan group of lawmakers have also signed on to support that legislation. Well, President Trump has a new target in his growing trade war, Hollywood. The president says he plans to impose a 100% tariff on all movies made outside the United States. Naomi Ruckham has more on the president's latest agenda, including an update on immigration and the future of the Republican Party.
President Donald Trump returned to the White House Sunday after another weekend at Mar-a-Lago, this time answering questions about a new potential tax in his escalating trade war, 100% tariffs on films shot internationally.
Other nations, a lot of them, have stolen our movie industry, and I'm saying if they're not willing to make a movie inside the United States, then we should have a tariff on movies that come in.
The president says foreign filmmaking presents a national security threat to the U.S., including messaging and propaganda. This just one of many news-making moments during a weekend interview on NBC's Meet the Press. When asked about the possibility of changing the Constitution to allow him to serve a third term,
there are many people selling the 2028 hat, but this is not something I'm looking to do.
The president noted Vice President J.D. Vance or Secretary of State Marco Rubio as possible great successors. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News.
Well, back here closer to home, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. If you've ever wanted to own your own town, well, you now have that chance as the community of Prey is on the market for $2.6 million. Located in the Paradise Valley south of Livingston, Prey, not exactly a bustling metropolis with 5 acres of land and a population of just one family calling it home. Despite the town's small size, though, it does have a small general store and a post office built back in 1998. That's helped keep Prey's zip code alive. The town actually sold back in 2018 for around $480,000, with the buyer then adding some new additions to the community, including a couple of cabins, a septic system, and a renovated home. With that buyer, though, now moving out of state, Prey's back on the market. And Michael Ratowski, the realtor, says with a little fixing up, well, this could become a Treasure State treasure.
Prey as a future community. So if we can sell to an owner who is ready to make this a spot with services for the community, that would be the highest and best use for this property.
Yeah, pretty fun to own if you can afford it. Prey was founded back in 1907 by Valentine Edgar, and it was named after a congressman who was named Charles Nelson Prey. Well, this morning we continue our look inside Montana's booming marijuana industry. Recently, we've seen the business from the ground up, and now this morning we're getting a sneak peek at the dispensaries where all those products come to life. Here's MTN's James Rowland with his Montana Agri Network report.
Hey, how's it going today? If I could just see your ID real quick and we'll get you taken care of. Awesome, thank you very much, sir.
In the last 2 episodes, we talked about how a grow facility and the actual production happen. Now we're going to talk about how it's sold retail at a dispensary.
If it doesn't have the THC and CBD percentage, it is out of stock currently.
Okay, that makes sense.
When someone comes in to purchase cannabis in our dispensary, it's definitely about legality and safety and making sure you follow the rules so we don't ruin this for everyone. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of got a sweet taste, but I mean, it's still kind of like the greeny earth taste. This is for informational purposes. We are not professionals and we cannot advise your treatment. Our point of sale system will actually report that sale to the metric government system, and they have to leave with an exit bag. So if they don't have an exit bag, you have to provide one for them. I always suggest to people, put your exit bag in your trunk. Because if you have it open just a little bit in the front seat or the back seat, you're just gonna get yourself into trouble that you didn't need to. All right, so with the taxes, your total today is going to be $19. You're gonna have to use our ATM. I apologize. No. We can only do cash.
So to me, I think dispensaries are key because they keep the control there and then everyone's safe.
But at the end of the day, once all the sales are reported in the metric, we go into the metric system from our side and we have to finalize all the sales. So at that point, the bud tender is verifying with the state, I sold all these products, and then you clear it and move on to the next day.
The law dictates the packaging, how it's tracked, where it can be used, and even the signage for the company.
When recreational marijuana became legal in Montana, the state basically told all the counties that are allowing recreational marijuana, they can decide to add an extra tax of 3% or not. So Cascade County was one of those that did. So you notice all of our signs are right on the building. So like even when you see those like little flags, you know, those have to be on the property. If they're off the property, they could come and ding you if they wanted to.
Don't be afraid to go into a dispensary. They're not evil people. They're good people, and they just want to help you.
That's it for you. Awesome. Have a great day. Thanks for stopping in.
In Great Falls, I'm James Rowland, MTN News.